In this video, we are going to cover sections P.1, P.2, and P.4. We're going to do this through a true or false activity. Through this activity, we're going to review the following topics: evaluating expressions, order of operations, combining like terms, exponent rules, and adding, subtracting, and multiplying polynomials. So we're going to do this by identifying whether each item is true or false and explaining why. So let's start with the first one here. We have 7 times 2y plus 6 minus 3 times 4y plus 5 equals 2y plus 57. So we want to know if what is on the left is equal to what is on the right. We're going to do this by distributing first so that we get rid of these parentheses and we can combine things. So we're going to distribute the 7 into 2y plus 6, and we're going to distribute minus 3 into 4y plus 5. So when we do that, we're going to get 14y, and then 7 times 6 is 42. And when we distribute the minus 3, we get minus 12y, and negative 3 times positive 5 is going to be minus 15. So does that equal 2y plus 57? Well, I can see that if I combine the y's, I have 14y's minus 12y's, and so that's a total of 2y's. Then if I combine the numbers that are not y's or the constants, we have plus 42 minus 15. And remember, we're combining these things here. We're not moving across the equal sign. So I'm just going to do 42 minus 15 to combine them. 42 minus 15, that's going to be 27. So this is 2y plus 27 on this side. Now when I compare it to my right side of the equation, I can see that the two y's are the same, but the number that's added is not the same. One side has 27, one side has 57, so it's going to have more. And so this is going to be false because they are not equal. Let's look at number 2. When x equals 9 and y equals 4, x squared minus 10 times x minus y equals 355. So for this one, I'm going to plug in for x and y to see if when I plug in, I get a total of 355. So I'm plugging in 9 for x, so that's 9 squared minus 10 times x minus y. X is 9, y is 4. And does that equal 355? So what do I do here? Well, I need to do what's in the parentheses first. So that's going to be 9 squared minus 10 times 5. 9 minus 4 is 5. Remember, order of operations, parentheses is going to come first, and then exponents. So when I square the 9 here, I get 81. 81 minus 10 times 5. And now, again, remembering my order of operations, what I need to do next is multiply 10 times 5. So we do parentheses, then exponents, and then multiplication and division from left to right. So before I subtract 10 from 81, I need to multiply 10 times 5. So that's going to give me, I'll write it up here, 81 minus 50. And I can already see that 355 is not going to be equal to that. 81 minus 50, that's going to be 31. So does not equal 355. Put a does not equal sign up here also. So this is false, again, because they are not equal. Moving on to number 3, this is another one where we're looking at order of operations. So I don't have any parentheses in here. So my next step is going to be exponents. So I have 7 squared, that's 49, minus 100, divided by, now I have a 5 squared, that's 25, times 7, minus 8. And we want to see if that's equal to negative 22.28. Well, let's see. Now we have to do multiplication and division before addition and subtraction. You might remember seeing something like this, parentheses, exponents, multiply, divide, add, subtract. That's the order that we need to go in when we're simplifying expressions. So before I do this minus subtraction here, I'm going to do 100 divided by 25 first. I know 100 divided by 25 is 4 quarters in a dollar, so that's 4 times 7 minus 8. And when we do multiplication and division, we do them left to right. So multiplication and division go together. As we read across from left to right, we do all of the multiplication and division that we see. So I did 100 divided by 25, that came first, and then I multiply by 7. So we have 49. The 4 times 7 is what's going to come next. So just keep that minus there. 4 times 7 is 28, minus 8. And then finally, I can do subtraction, again going from left to right. So I'll start with 49 minus 28. That's going to give me 21. Minus 8, and again I can see even before I get to the end here that that's not going to equal negative 22.28. That is going to be 13. So 13, which does not equal negative 22.28. So again I'm going to write false, not equal. All right, looking at number 4 here, I'm going to switch colors because now we're working on an exponents problem, and also I don't want to get confused with what I have written up above. Negative 12 to the 0 power equals 0. This is false. This one there's not a whole lot to calculate, but what you need to remember, or you can just kind of punch this into a calculator, any number with a power of 0 is equal to 1. Not 0. All right, number 5. Again, we have an exponent situation here. We have 5y to the 3rd, that's squared, and does that equal 5y to the 5th? Well, remember that when we square something, we are multiplying it by itself. So 5y to the 3rd times 5y to the 3rd is 5y to the 3rd squared. So when we multiply these together, we have a total of 5 times 5, which is 25. And then we have 3 y's and 3 y's, so that's a total of 6 y's. So it's 25y to the 6th, which is not equal to 5y to the 5th. In other words, we need to square both the number that's in the parentheses, so the 5 needs to be squared, and then for the y, what we need to do is square that, or we're multiplying the exponent by 2, in other words. So we're multiplying this exponent out here tells me how many of these I have. So it's y to the third power of 3 times 2, which is where I get the 6. And then lastly for this video, we're going to do this problem here. So we have, again with exponents, things multiplied together. 9x to the 5th times y to the 4th times 3x squared y to the 5th. So all of these things here are multiplied together. We have 9, we have x to the 5th, we have y to the 4th, we have a 3, we have an x squared, and we have a y to the 5th. So thinking about how these things go together and remembering that exponents just means that things are multiplied that many times. So we have 9 times 3 here, which is 27, which is what we have on our right side, so that part matches up. We have x to the 5th, and then we have x squared. X to the 5th is x multiplied by itself 5 times. X squared is x multiplied by itself twice. So what we're multiplying here is a total of 7 x's. So this is x to the 7th. Same thing for y, we have 4 and we have 5. So how many y's do we have all together? That's going to be 9. And so you can see it's not equal to what we have on the right side. So this one is also false. The 27 is the same, but the number on each power is different. So it's false because they are not equal.